Okay, so today, students, and welcome to class number 9, job application letter writing. In this class, we are going to look at skills and the knowledge required to craft an impressive cover letter and CV. So, I just want you to understand that this course or this class is about understanding the job application process. It is not about understanding the actual job application letter. And you may say, well, why do I need to do this course? Why don't we just start with job application letter? Because job application letters require you to have skills and knowledge to craft compelling and impressive cover letters. And without understanding the job application process, you won't be able to do so. So in this class, we're going to familiarize ourselves with the language of job application letters. We are going to develop underlying soft skills that will help bolster our application letter writing success. And we're going to learn about the anatomy or the structure of a job application letter and a CV. Okay, so let's get into it. In this class, we're going to look at the importance of crafting effective job application letters. We're going to understand job advertisements. We're going to look at how the critical reading skills that we learned in the beginning classes are going to contribute to our ability to read these job advertisements and understand what is being asked of us. We're going to look at the structure of an effective CV, as well as how we are going to craft compelling cover letters and the things that we need to understand, things like having self-awareness and self-confidence and self-value. Because if we understand what a job application letter is, it is basically you as a human resource selling yourself as an asset to the business. So unless you can sell yourself as an asset, as in you have the skills, you have the techniques, you have the knowledge, you have the qualifications and everything that they're looking for based on their job advertisement, then you will not qualify for the job because the employers will choose something more suited or better suited to the environment. Those of you who may not necessarily know how to sell yourself, you may not have a vocabulary of talking to about yourself because let's be realistic. Whenever I ask you to introduce yourself, you don't really do a good job. You always say, come back to me. So it could be a situation where nobody ever taught you how to sell yourself or how to describe yourself and your qualities and your attributes and so on. Or maybe you just don't have the vocabulary. You know you possess some special things, but you just don't have the vocabulary. Your inability to express that is going to be the difference between you getting a very high grade or you getting the job versus you just getting an average grade and being overlooked for a job. So we're going to look at how those insights into personal qualities um, can be developed using tools and techniques. I have a lot of tips that I can give you on how you can improve those skills so you have time before the examination to sharpen up your skills on selling yourself. And we're going to look at how continuous improvement is going to just continuously help refine those skills, etc. And in the meantime, I'm going to address common misconceptions about the job application letter writing process. So the first thing we're going to look at is navigating the job world. So the job market is very competitive, right? And your ability to understand the rapidly evolving changes and the technological advancements and the different requirements, etc., is going to determine how well you write your job application letter. It is going to establish whether you have a strategic approach to job application letter writing or you just have some random approach. Next, we have to understand the importance of the job application process because a well structured application is essential to making a positive impression on your employer because it serves as the first point of contact between you and the employer. Right? So when CSEC is testing your ability to write a job application letter, CSEC is testing your ability to make a good impression on that cover letter. Remember, a cover letter goes at the front of your CV. And a cover letter is basically a summary of all that is in your CV. So let's say, for example, you decided that you're going to write a CV and you list out all of your qualifications, you list out everything that they're looking for, but you have failed to write a compelling application letter to fully summarize everything that is on that CV. Then you can be overlooked. You can be overlooked for the job, right? So let's look at deciphering job advertisements. So when you have your critical reading skills, we learned about interrogating written work, interrogating literature. And I just want you to understand that, hey, interrogation of work is simply just asking questions. So, as you read the job ad, what am I asking? You must critically analyze the job advertisement to grasp the essence of whatever the employer is trying to say. So, the employer is going to give things like a job title. What is your job title? Your job title is simply the position, the name of the position that you will occupy in the business. But along with that title has roles. So the roles are the different functions that your particular title carries out in the business. So me, I am a teacher. That's my job title in the Ministry of Education. My role is to deliver lessons, to grade assessments, to constantly give feedback to students for improvement, as well as to do assessments, etc., and grade those assessments so that I can go ahead and do my administrative work for parents and the ministry and all who need those numbers, right? Now, along with those roles would also have responsibilities because I can't carry out those roles effectively unless I have the responsibilities down pack. So, what is the responsibilities? Well, in order for me to deliver content, I need to be able to research and create lesson plans and create compelling lessons and engaging lessons so that students will feel excited to learn. I also have to do assessments. I have to create those assessments. I have to create rubrics that go along with those assessments and answer sheets that go along with those assessments. I have to mark those assessments. I have to do calculations and statistics and so on about those assessments. And then I have to write up these reports, etc. So as you can see, my responsibilities are extensive, but they go along with the things that are my roles or my functions in the organization. What does that mean? Well, the employer will give you these list of responsibilities and these list of duties, but they will also establish what are the necessary qualifications that are being sought after in an individual who will occupy this position. So, what are qualifications? Much like when we're doing sports, think of yourself in sports. You qualify to go on to the final race if you meet the standard. Well, in academia, we have these standards as well set out. What are these standards? Well, you do standardized tests, and these standardized tests will then establish where you are on the scale. So, when we spoke about the language proficiency test, which is English language, this is exactly what CSEC is testing. CSEC is testing your ability to meet the standard of being able to write a job application letter. When you have these standards met, you will receive a certificate, and these certificates suggest that you have qualified, you have met the qualifications, you possess the qualities that employers will be looking for in this discipline. So, discipline will be whatever area you specialize in. So, in primary school, we do lots of subjects, but you realize as we go on to secondary school, and college and even university, those subjects tend to get less and less and less. And that's because we are now specializing. We're moving away from the broad knowledge to more specific and in depth knowledge. And your qualifications will demonstrate to what extent you have this knowledge. Those qualifications can be attained by different ways. So we have academic qualifications, which you obviously achieve from or you attain from an academic institution, but you also have qualifications that are extracurricular. So you have qualifications for like Toastmasters. You will have certifications and qualifications for those as you go up the rank of the organization and so on. So If you're doing martial arts, you have a belt. Those different belts, yeah, they're qualifications as well. So you can receive qualifications through academia, or you can receive qualifications through extracurricular activities that offer these certifications. In addition to your qualifications, you'll also have to speak on your experience. So in academia, as in when you went to school, you would have experienced certain things that allowed you to develop certain skills. If you're projecting yourself into the future as a student who has never worked, or you're a student who is working, or a student who's looking forward to working, you have to also project yourself into the future to see what would be the skills that certain experiences would give me. Now, if you're going to work backwards, when I give students narrative writing, I give them a portfolio to do of the characters. So they'll have to come up with these social media portfolios and describe the character. When you're in primary school, you had to do these portfolios about yourself. Well, a CV is a portfolio tailored to employers, right? So in this portfolio, you will list all of the different experiences that you had, whether job experience, extracurricular, co-curricular experience, qualifications, all of that. But what those CVs and those certifications may not list are the skills that you would have gained in engaging in those experiences, and your ability to express those skills, both hard and soft skills. So hard skills would be your ability to actually produce a product, right? So me being able to write an essay, that's a product, that's a hard skill. Your ability to fix a tablet, or your ability to um, crochet a dress or something. Those are hard skills because they produce a product. However, soft skills are those things that go into making the process smooth and effective. Those are personality traits. Those are specific qualities that make whatever role, whatever responsibility effortless for you. And you have to be able to sell yourself as a human resource that possess these qualities so that you be an asset to the company. And these personality traits go beyond simply just your qualifications, because soft skills also talk about your personality. So, for those of you who don't understand what personality is, there are actually standardized tests for personality. So, if you don't know much about yourself, engaging in a personality test would be a very good way for you to get the vocabulary or the assessment of yourself, right? In addition to that, we can then go further and look at other areas where you can do assessments, things like aptitude tests, IQ tests, emotional intelligence tests. All of these things tell us about yourself. But for now, let's just look at the economic ways that we can create a portfolio, a CV, so that we will have something that we can use as a summary of who we are on the job market. Because that's what a cover letter is. It's a summary of your CV. So your CV has to really express those things that those qualifications and those awards and so on do not state explicitly what they imply. The job application ad, or the job advertisement, or the job vacancy ad will also give certain things about the company culture, the type of individual that they're looking for. They're looking for someone who can adjust and fit in to the company already, right? So recognizing the company culture allows you to adjust your tone and your content to fit the ethos of the organization, which enhances your ability to be chosen. So some job applications will say, have a driver's license, can work late, is a team player. When you see those sorts of words, what you're basically seeing is a job where they may not necessarily have all the resources that they're looking for. They don't have delivery vans, they don't have these things, but they're hoping that the person that they hire can come with these things. Like you're an asset that come along, you come equipped with these things so that you can efficiently and effectively carry out the role. So if you know for a fact that you're not interested in using your personal vehicle to drive up and down for a job, you will not apply for a job like this because the company culture of requiring the employee to utilize their private assets and so on the job is not part of what you want to do. So reading the job vacancy ad, the listing, will not only help you to determine what you need to put in your cover letter, but it will also help you determine whether or not the job is right for you. So when we're looking at these job vacancy ads, we're using critical thinking skills to dissect the job ad. You have to have the ability to break down the job ads into their essential components because it is essential for you. It is important, fundamental for you to craft a compelling application letter based on what they're looking for, not the primary school version of a portfolio where you put all the wonderful qualities that you possess, all the hobbies that you're engaged in that bring joy to your life. No, this is not a personal portfolio. This is a job portfolio. You're selling yourself as an asset. Also, you have to align yourself with the requirements of the job. So the skills that I spoke about, if your personality does not favor interacting with random strangers on a day-to-day basis, you're more introverted, you're more of a recluse, then applying for a job that requires you to be front desk or to have good communication skills and engage with people regularly will not be a good fit for you. You will not be able to carry out that responsibility well because your personality and your identity, your temperament does not align with the role. So you see, without us even having looking at a job ad, there's so much to dissect simply from understanding what employers are looking for when they craft these things. Next, we're gonna look at what's in a CV. So I keep saying that a CV is the extended version of your cover letter. So your cover letter goes on the front summarizing your CV. But what is in a CV? Well, your CV has crucial elements about your professional achievements, whether it be academic achievements or co-curricular, extracurricular achievements, work history, work achievements, as well as the skills that you would have developed along with those jobs. In your CV, they will also ask you to list the responsibilities of the role that you occupied on that job. Very extensive, but the cover letter will not have that. When it comes to highlighting your qualifications and your experience, you have to place emphasis on relevant qualifications and experiences. Relevant qualifications and experiences. So I'll give you a clear breakdown. So let's say, for example, you studied medicine, you want to do medicine, you're doing sciences, but for some reason you're not getting through to get jobs in the medical field. Well, how relevant are those qualifications to the field? So in order for you to understand what are the qualifications required for the field, it should you should look at other job applications. Looking at other job ads, what you will do is establish a baseline of what this job post, this title requires. So you will understand the level of education that you will need. You will understand the level of skill you need, the years of experience you need before you can attain this job. This is important for students, especially who have high expectations and lofty aspirations, who assume that, when I finish at the college, I'm going to get a job, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. No. Unless you fully understand what are the requirements and the discipline that you need. So, with your sciences, you may not be able to get a job at, let's say, KFC or a cereal store because they'll consider you overqualified, or they may look at it as, what does this have to do with hospitality? I'm going to look for somebody who did hospitality as opposed to sciences because the knowledge and the skill that they would have learned in doing those subjects is more tailored to this job. So having high qualification does not guarantee that you will be eligible for every job. It has to be relevant skills, relevant knowledge, as well as appropriate or apt knowledge. It must reach the level of skill that is required. When you're crafting your CV, I particularly like the CASA framework. I came up with CASA on my own. CASA is QU for qualifications, whether it be academic qualifications, co-curricular qualifications, or work qualifications, because some jobs have on-the-job training, as well as E for your experience. So that experience will also extend to co-curricular experience, academic experience, as well as on-the-job experience. S would be for your skills. So as you explain these experiences and these different moments that you would have had on the jobs or in school, you will then follow up with what is the skill you would have honed or what is the skill you would have developed um, during that time. So skills, like I said, are hard skills and soft skills. And A would be your attributes. So A for attributes would be your personality. It will be your temperament. It will be your interests. All of those are your attributes. And I will give you tips on how you can further understand these things. So what is the power of the case of framework? I came up with that. So you will articulate your qualifications clearly. So in your second paragraph, you're going to jump right into it. You're going to start summarizing what are those academic and work qualifications. If you are pretending to apply for a job, let's say for the examination, you're given the prompt, or let's say for the examination, you're preparing past papers and so you still have to envision yourself as actually applying for the job. Because if you envision yourself as doing a test, then your main focus is going to be getting a good grade, as opposed to your main focus being, hey, what do I need to put in this job application to get this job? Okay, so that's what CSEC is testing. It's not just testing your ability to do an examination, it's testing your ability to apply knowledge in a real world framework or real world context and it be accurate. Also, for the case of framework, after you have presented your qualifications and so on, you will emphasize your unique strengths. So these unique strengths would be whatever experiences that has shaped the person that you are, as well as the skills that you would have developed while having these experiences. And your attributes are anything ranging from things that you can change, from things that you can't change. You can't change your personality, you can't change your temperament, but you can develop self awareness and emotional intelligence that helps you to use your strengths, your influential traits, and so on to the best of your ability and adjust the weaknesses because we all have weaknesses. So, what is the benefit of self awareness and self value in understanding your worth in the job application process? Well, self-awareness directly influences the authenticity and the effectiveness of the job application. So yes, we know applying for a job is not something that a secondary school student will necessarily do right now. But it is something that you will be doing in the near future. And it is a skill that would be best developed earlier than later. So here we are looking at self-awareness and how I see myself on the job market as a future employee. For those of you who are already in the job market, it will also be beneficial for you to see yourself as a member of an organization and what you contribute to the organization. The caveat to that is when you start developing self awareness, sometimes you may actually develop an understanding of your worth in a company. And you may realize that maybe this company does not value the skills I have. And then you can choose another company that actually is looking for somebody just like you rather than being in an environment that is just not cutting it. So, exploring personality assessments is a great way for you to learn vocabulary and understand yourself a little bit more. So, personality assessments are basically standardized tests to assess your personality. Whether they're looking at your personality or your IQ, your emotional intelligence, your aptitude, your numeracy, literacy, or whatever, all of these different types of personal assessments help us to know who we are so that we can then verbalize who we are. So in the examination, it is all fine and dandy for you to have job application letters that you would have written for classwork and tests. But in the examination, you don't know what is the job that they may bring. You don't know what is the prompt. You don't know what are the roles and the responsibilities of that job because you can't fully prepare for that. But what you can fully prepare to do is have valuable insights into your strengths and your weaknesses and how these strengths and these weaknesses are sold or marketed in the job arena so that when you're crafting a CV, it's not a matter of trying to find something that I need to say in order to get this job. It's just a matter of looking at myself and saying, so if I wanted this job, what type of person I would have to be? And how do the skills I already have, or the qualities I already possess, or the attributes that I already exhibit make me perfect for this job? So some of these tests are free online. I know on Allison Courses, which is a free learning management system that is being funded by an organization to promote further learning and free education. They do an excellent job at helping you get ready for a career. Even if you're just a secondary school student, I would suggest that you're doing this. I'm homeschooling my daughter right now, and she's also doing this portfolio for her social studies slash civics, where she is creating a future CV. And obviously, she would have done personality tests and so on to kind of get the vocabulary and the understanding of what she does. So on Allison, there's a section that says career path. You can go and click on allisoncourses.com, look for career path. It will give you personality assessment and tell you what jobs are best suited to your personality. Now, you may say, I don't want to do a personality test because I know myself. The reality is, you don't know yourself because you don't know what scale or what category your personality may fit into unless you do this test. Because, like I said, it's a standardized test. Jobs, employers do use these tests. And they use these tests because it helps them to match personalities based on roles and responsibilities of jobs. These tests are used in the army for you to assign what do you call them? Um, platoons to assign platoons that are best suited to specific personalities. So don't assume that the personality test is just some random stupidness. It is a standardized test that is used in academia to help students develop career paths. Where if you go to a career guidance counselor, these are the things that they'll do. They'll give you a personality test. They'll tell you, okay, this is your personality. These jobs really do well with this personality. These jobs should be, stay away from these things. And there's this particular site called 16 Personalities. 16 Personalities. When you're doing personality tests specifically, perfect. They also have a full breakdown of your strengths and weaknesses. They can give you full career paths to guide you in academics, to guide you in co-curricular, to guide you in the workplace. And all of this will be based on your personality. So if you don't particularly know who you are and you might be still searching, try doing a personality test and also look into other types of tests like aptitude tests and emotional intelligence tests, as well as IQ tests, intelligence quotient tests. And you can understand how these tests, these standardized tests that are testing these abstract qualities, are much like the standardized academic tests and training course tests that qualify you in a particular proficiency. So these standardized tests also give that same evaluation of self. So as you go ahead learning of the language to describe yourself and learning of the skill sets, the amazing skill sets that are out there. So you can then begin developing compelling narratives where you can articulate unique stories about yourself on your professional or academic journey that will show your ability to adapt and your ability to innovate and your ability to collaborate. All of these are words that you're looking for. So, when it comes to how you align with the organization will tell you what they're looking for. You look to see whether your temperament naturally aligns with that. All of this will help in boosting your confidence because the more you learn to speak about yourself and the more you learn the vocabulary of articulating special skills and special qualities, you develop confidence, right? And it's important for you to continuously hone these skills, refine these skills. So after you would have learned about CV writing and so, please try your best and go to Allison. If you don't have a CV, or even if you do have a CV, go to Allison. Go at CV or resume builder and start crafting your CV. You don't understand how to sell yourself? Go on 16 personalities. Read your assessment of your personality. Read what they say about your personality in academics and the job market and the skills you possess and those that you need to work on. Continuously try applying for different jobs. Just pick up every week. You look in the newspaper, you select a job that would be nice for you to apply to, and you simply craft a job application letter for that. If you feel brave enough, send it in. But make sure that what you're saying in the actual job application letters that you are submitting are factual, because that's a big no-no in the job world. Fabricating information on your CV. CV is fraud. You're selling yourself something that you're not. It's fraudulent advertising, misadvertising. So continuously working on job application letters, continuously pretending that you're at an interview, applying for a job, or simply just hearing different employers um, their problems, because you would find lots of different employers may express problems about workers. I can't find a worker for this. I can. All of these ideas, don't dismiss them because, like I said, these proficiency tests only test your ability to know the format and the structure. But when it comes to your content and your expression, that's where your soft skills, your own experiences, and how well you would have engaged with the work is going to be important. So let's look at what is some common misconceptions about job applications. The first thing, qualifications are very important, but you have to understand what the nuances of the job requirements are as well as the organizational culture. You can be the most highly qualified individual, but you can be turned down because you do not possess certain qualities, or you do not have the experience, or you do not have the work ethic that goes along with the organization. You can simply just not be a national of a country and not be given a job. So it is important for you to understand that qualifications and job experience alone does not make you eligible for a job. So when crafting a job application letter, do not assume simply saying I have these qualifications will make it a compelling application letter. Next, the relevance of the experiences and the awards that you mention are pivotal. Not all experiences are equally relevant, and candidates must be able to differentiate about what is relevant and what aligns with the job requirements versus what is just irrelevant. It's very good for you to say about yourself. We're not saying that it's not good for you to say about yourself, but remember, a cover letter or job application letter is not a personal portfolio. It is a professional portfolio targeted and tailored towards specific jobs and specific roles and responsibilities. And recognizing opportunities in the job market for success also requires you to understand how my personal attributes and my personal qualifications, as well as the experience that I've had and the skills that I possess, make me the best applicant. That's what's going to craft your narrative. Not understanding where to put the address and where to put the date. That's important for formatting, but expression, right? So what are the key takeaways for successful application? You have to have a comprehensive skill set. You have to have a holistic approach of job, job searching, job vacancy ads, critical reading to be able to read what is required, and also you have to be able to have reflective writing where you can reflect on what you have read, reflect on yourself, reflect on the personality assessment that you would have done, reflect on all of the different feedback and assessments that you would have got throughout your years. And you have to be able to reflectively write that journey, that narrative, so as to sell yourself. So it requires very good communication skills and very good writing skills. And it also requires you to have self confidence, self awareness, and self value because it is the only way you can market yourself. You're marketing yourself as a human resource. Resources are things that we use to create amazing things. You are a human resource. How are you going to explain this? When navigating job applications successfully, you have to equip yourself with the knowledge and the skills crucial to maneuvering the process efficiently. So you have to be able to explain those things in such a cohesive way and a concise way. You have to be able to say so much by saying so little. All of that is part of the job application writing skill set. So as you go on, you will then discover different ways that you can enhance or increase your ability to get jobs because you simply just understand how to sell yourself, right? Whether the roles and the responsibilities align with what you want. As long as I know this is something I want to do, it's a career field that I'm interested in, I have those skills. If you're young, then you can go ahead and start preempting these different skill sets, preempting planning, basically doing a career path, planning, road mapping, all of the different things that you want to do. So if you know you want to do medicine, maybe going for a summer course at the Red Cross in CPR would be excellent for your CV. And there are different organizations that help you to build your CV. For example, guiding in its fundamental um, function, cadets in its fundamental function, scouts in its fundamental function, Rotary Club, Lions Club, all of these organizations assist you in developing a CV by providing you with opportunities to have experiences that develop your skill set. So, just as a quick overview now, I want to also mention one thing: gaps in your CV. How will you account for gaps in your CV? Please remember that your employer is reading your CV to see things about you that are said that are not said. So, for example, the whole idea of wanting to be a medical professional, but you have not volunteered for anything in any medical field or anything helping others or any sort of wellness or holistic healing, anything. The employer looking at your CV, not having any of these in your own time, suggests to the employer that you are motivated by money only and you are not truly intrinsically motivated by the passions that you may verbalize. Gaps in your CV. So, gaps in your CV is something that you have to be very aware of. Gaps when it comes to time gaps, gaps when it comes to interest gaps, gaps when it comes to experience gaps. So, yes, you can have qualification gaps, as in you just may not have the qualification. That's a blatant red flag. You know if you're not meeting that requirement because you say, okay, they need a bachelor's, I don't have a bachelor's. That's a gap in my CV. Experience. Okay, so I need to have 5 years experience managing a restaurant. but I have never done anything in the food industry. Acknowledge that gap. Acknowledge that gap. You never know, you may have a different experience that can facilitate that gap. So I've never run a restaurant, but hello, I run a household and I cook daily in my household, and I have a degree in nutrition. So between me cooking for my family every day and understanding groceries and all of that, and having a knowledge of food and all of that, I think I can meet the requirements of somebody who was managing a restaurant for 5 years. I have all the skill sets. Find them, put them in there, fill that gap. Gaps in time where, for example, you may say, I graduated from the community college with a bachelor's in law. All right. I worked 3 years at an institution, and that was 6 years ago. Your next job experience, your next academic qualification has this last 6 year gap. Your last job, this last 6 year gap. You have to account for that gap in your application. You have to account for the reason why you are lacking. What happened in those years? Anything could have happened in those years. You could have been incarcerated, you could have been institutionalized, you could have been kidnapped, your country could have been under war. So all of these things are important when the employer is perusing your CV. So don't give them something to dismiss it. Account for it. For those of you who are pretending that you are applying for a job application letter, whether it be for the examination, for coursework, or something for the first time, that is important for you to know because you have to fill those gaps. Students who just assume that you finish secondary school and you jump into the job market may assume that I can put this, I can put this, but the dates do not align. Very important for you to show that you are still engaged and nothing has happened. I'll give you an example. When I was at my former job, I would spend a lot of time doing these free online courses. I would do certificates, and my coworkers say, "You always doing these courses or whatever. They're not accredited. They're not whatever." Some of them are accredited. There are some things that they don't know. Those courses that I would have done for free during the time where I was not studying, during the time where I was not um, um, pursuing any co-curricular activities or extracurricular activities. I'm not a member of any organization. I'm not a member of Rotary. I'm not a member of all those things. So I cannot show all of these experiences in doing this, doing that, doing that. What I do is I do short courses online that I will add to my certificate section of my CV. That's one. Two, I engage on social media in content creation. So every time I learn something, I come and I create content about it. So there's a record showing that I can speak on the topic. For example, when I did my course in nutrition, right? When I did that course in nutrition, look at that. I started a whole online online nutrition community, right? And from that, I was then able to get speaking opportunities where I was asked to speak at different seminars on the radio, um, even at fairs and workshops and so on. So that is a way that you can fill gaps in your CV. You're not working, you should not be sitting down doing nothing at all, whether you are a student or whether you are unemployed, as in you have already graduated and you're just at home. You're a student, you're supposed to be working on your CV by filling it with co-curricular activities, extracurricular activities, your academic qualifications, and other volunteer um, pursuits. You're working, still work on doing certificates because it shows continuous learning, continuous self-development, and it shows that you're continuously adding to your skill set. And lastly, work on getting those content creation out there, because with social media, social media is about marketing, and social media is a marketing tool. You're really supposed to be marketing yourself on social media. People market all sorts of other things because they don't understand the purpose of social media, but social media is supposed to be your number one stop for marketing yourself as an individual who can speak on a particular topic or who has a passion about a particular topic. It can be something as simple as gaming, right? Because that's a future career path, that's an opportunity for other things. So we are really supposed to be very vigilant about how we are building ourselves, marketing ourselves. We're gonna finish the class there, so that's enough about the job application process. I would have gone through different words, for example, what are job titles, what are roles, what are responsibilities, what are qualifications. I would have explained what are different ways that you can get experience, what are the different skill sets that you will learn, hard and soft skills, and what they all entail, as well as understanding yourself a bit clearer when it comes to attributes and personality. Next class, we're going to look at the cover letter. So we have already established that the purpose of a cover letter is to document what is in your resume or your CV in a more concise version. And your employers will use these cover letters as a way to screen applicants to determine whether they're fit for the job that they're advertising. The cover letter typically provides detailed information of why you're qualified for the job, why you're applying for the job, what are the experiences that you would have had that make you qualified for the job, the skill sets that you have, as well as how your personality and your attributes make you a perfect fit for the job. Please also remember when doing your cover letters that CSEC is testing your ability to have real world application of this skill. CSEC is not testing your ability just to write essays. CSEC is testing your ability to show proficiency, mastery proficiency in this skill. So therefore, your job application letter for your CSEC examination should not be considered as just a submission of a test or a submission of a exam script. What you are proving to CSEC is in the event that you were applying for this job in the real world, that you know how to express yourself. Because I will tell you this, when we are here next class, we are going to look at templates. We're going to look at how Microsoft presents to you the template for the job application letter. Here it is. And this template that Microsoft Office gives you is perfect for understanding format, structure of a job application letter. Even though Microsoft may give you prompts, sentence phrases, and so on different ways that you can express yourself. So, for example, you want to talk about um, why you're applying for the job, even though they will give you suggestions and different phrases that you can use. At the end of the day, your ability to sell yourself as a candidate worthy of an award that says that you can craft an impressive CV requires you to go beyond just formatting. And this is the reason why I went through, um, let us say, the hidden curriculum behind the job application letter. And the job application letter will have a set amount of paragraphs and it will have certain elements. Next class, we will be looking at the writing of the job application letter. So we're going to start off with what is the form. We're going to look at the different structures that are there and how we create those structures, the addressing, the dates, the subject, the body, everything. But for now, I want you to go away with these understandings, right? That your CV is your portfolio, but it's not like your personal, informal portfolio that you would have done in primary school. This is a professional portfolio. And your cover letter is your concise summary of the things that are in your portfolio. Your cover letter is not just simply stating wonderful things about yourself. It is stating things that make you the best fit for a job at an organization. It means that as a human resource, you will be an asset to the individuals at the job, your coworkers, as well as the organization itself that is offering the job. When you have your CV, please do not express yourself cliche. I can do this, I am this, I have this. We will then go into expressing yourself dynamically, charismatically. So before we get to that, for you to say, oh, Miss, I don't know what to say about myself, come back to me. What I am going to ask for you to do is to go to Allison courses and do the CV resume builder as well as the personality test and look at the career paths that they have suggested. Based on the career path that they have suggested, you will then look for a job application ad, a job vacancy ad, and you will apply for that job. And you will sell the qualities that they have outlined in your personality test as part of your project, your portfolio project. I want to see how you're going to fill those gaps, whether it be gaps in qualifications, experience, skills, or time. Those time gaps. Also, I don't want you to get too concerned about the drafting part of the letter. So I would suggest maybe using Microsoft Office to understand the format and even using AI. Right? So you can go ahead and put your prompt into AI, tell AI everything that you want to say. Um, Concerning the job, you can even write the letter and then tell AI it's a job application letter, format it properly for me, please. And you can assess where you went wrong and what AI suggests. So next week, we are going to come ready, ready in that regard, fully ready for me to start constructing these impressive application letters. Okay, so like I said, get yourself ready with your CV, your resume builder, as well as your personality test and your career your passport, your roadmap, your outline to career success. And let me see how you're gonna attempt a job application letter. That is just a quick thing that I want you to do on your own for me to see how much you understand before we even get into the process of writing. Now you may say, well, if I haven't learned how to write the letter, why am I writing the letter? I want you to express yourself. I am testing your ability to express yourself. Because when you come to the letter, the formatting is just putting sentences here and there and putting in full stop there, adjusting the alignment here, indenting there, double spacing, changing the font, making sure the closing is in the right place, everything like that. But what is said in the letter, I can't teach you that. I can't teach you how to express yourself. I can give pointers on how you can express yourself. I can probably edit sentences that you have expressing yourself and selling yourself, but I cannot say, hey, say this about yourself. Only you can know yourself. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me on this class, job application letter writing, and it was a fun class. Quick recap, if you wish to do a recap, click on the link. I have my learning bite. You know, after every course, we do our little learning bite where you will learn how to do, um, whatever it is we did. We do the quick recap. You have your short quiz. You pass the quiz. You don't pass it, you do the quiz again. That's how we do it with our learning bites. So you can go ahead and click on the link for the quick course overview on Google Classroom. It will also be in the section that says class review or class quiz. And it will test everything that we have covered today on job application letter writing. We did not cover brainstorming or pre-planning or anything concerning job application letters. This is just the introduction, letting you know what is the background information you need to know before even attempting to write a job application letter. Thank you very much for joining me on today's class, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good one. Bye.